Tell us your name, what are you running for, and what experience do you have that makes you feel prepared to fill this position?
My name is Ben Jaramillo. I retired from the Sheriff's Office after 19 years. I've worked in the jail, I worked in the courthouse, worked on patrol, was the canine trainer for the Sheriff's Office. I spent another 18 and a half years in the Army National Guard, where I served as an MP and in the infantry. Did detainee operations in Iraq with 2 combat deployments. So I've filled a big void in what needs to happen for Buncombe County.
What are your feelings on the $1.75 million county grant to reduce jail populations, which to some seems to be the root cause of recidivism in the county, and some claim the magistrates won't keep people in jail because of that process? How would you do things differently when it comes to that program?
I have a problem with not keeping people incarcerated. We need to hold people accountable for their actions. We are currently taking people in custody and they're walking out faster than our deputies can finish their paperwork. I hear from our deputies currently and past that it takes them longer to process a misdemeanor charge because they have so much paperwork to fill out that it's not worth even charging. That's a problem. We need to be prosecuting, arresting, and taking the problems off the streets instead of letting them continue attacking our people of the county.
Is the issue surrounding low bail and the regular occurrence of criminals getting out with a slap on the wrist and general lack of criminalization when it's clearly warranted, in fact, the fault of the magistrate, judges, and DA, or is it truthfully because the jail is short-staffed?
Both. The jail, I've been in touch with some people. At times there's only 9 sworn detention officers working in the jail. The courts, they are more or less picking and choosing who they want to prosecute. That's another problem. Seen it throughout my career where politicians, the money buys positions, gets their kids out of jail, gets them from being arrested. I don't believe in that. I've had many phone calls on my own brother and told the deputies then, you caught that fish, you clean it. He may be my brother, but you charge him if you want to. That's your choice, not mine. It's the way I feel about everything in law enforcement. We have such a hard time keeping good, honest police officers that when the honest ones do get in, they leave really quick because they see how dishonest the system can be.
What do you think is the most effective way to deal with low-level drug offenders?
I believe, well, one of my platform parts is I want to work with the mental health facilities to engage with the drug problems, the mental health issues in Buncombe County. A lot of our issues, the crimes, come from the drug abuse, which relates back to the majority of them mental health. If you look at some of the people that's incarcerated, they have come from bad families that beat them, separated families, parents that just didn't care, let them stay out, that's part of mental health. People don't realize that, but that is, I've actually had the children's mental health reach to me, or I've reached out to them, and they want to be notified when we have domestic violence where children are involved, so that a counselor can come out and just make sure that the child is okay, that, he understands it's not his fault or her fault, that, we can start trying to eliminate these problems further down the line in their life.
What do you see as the most pressing issues in Asheville and Buncombe County, and what are the root causes, and how will you make changes to better the safety and crime in our communities, especially considering everyone is so understaffed?
We need to become more community-oriented, period. We have so much such a diverse population in Buncombe County that we need to start respecting one another again. Our politicians have put in such a big divide between us that if you're a Democrat, you hate Republicans. If you're a Republican, you hate Democrats. Liberals, I hate everyone. No, we all still human. You have your opinion, I have my opinion. And we just need to get back to the basics and become human beings again and work with one another. Respect one another. There's a lack of respect for one another in this country. especially in Buncombe County now.
Under North Carolina law that governs nuisance areas, are you willing to enforce those laws?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you answer calls inside the city limits? Considering APD has such a shortage, are you willing to have your deputies help city PD answer calls for service if county isn't backed up at the time?
I do not have a problem with that. There is actually a mutual aid compact that allows us to assist APD and vice versa, along with Woodford, Black Mountain, Weaverville. We can assist them if they're shorthanded. If they call and ask for the help, all they've got to do is ask.
Being short-staffed at APD and Sheriff's Department and losing staff to other places like Henderson County, what are you going to do as sheriff to get more deputies on the road and inside the jail? And what is your goal and guidelines when recruiting deputies to work at the sheriff's office?
Recruiting's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie. You go out here and you look around all these businesses. They're having a hard time filling $20 an hour position, at McDonald's. Now, do you really does a person want to come out and make $22, $25 an hour, be treated like crap, not only from the agency, their commissioners or council members, their mayors or whatever, the county manager, and the sheriff or the chief of police? Why would they want that when they could go over here and work for McDonald's? Politicians need to get out of law enforcement. I don't like politics in law enforcement. I don't like money in law enforcement, because that is the root problem that makes it harder to hire people like that, because they're not going to deal with it. They're not going to, nobody wants to be treated bad. We don't like, I can tell you, after my 19 years, I only seen one racist cop. And as soon as they figured out he was racist, Bobby Medford fired him. So that's, we've got to get back to the basics and let people become humans again and quit following just word. It's hard.
With the shortage in the jail that is requiring road office to work jail and manning levels being dangerously low, what are your plans on bringing the manning level up to the required state level?
I want to work with the North Carolina Army National Guard. They've got a lot of young people over there that's a detention unit that we could get some different soldiers from throughout that brigade or battalion and hire them. That would give us some. Of course, that would hurt, because when they got their drill dates and stuff, and we could work around that. That's one way of bringing it in. Trying to get out there and going into the colleges and touching base with these people, going through the criminal justice program. And you just don't start at the CEO job. You've got to put your time in at any job and work your way up. And even college kids, they need a job. This would be a good doorstep for them to move, come in, learn the jail, learn the courts, then continue on, become a crime scene analyst, criminal investigator, whatever they decided to go further on. We've got to start using the colleges, because there's too many good people out there that want a job, but they're not going to come in and look for it because it says police. We've got to go out and recruit them.
How often are you willing to sit down with leaders of your community groups or neighborhood associations to see what they need and how you can help them?
Daily. I will work with people daily. I believe in getting out. Open door policy, I've heard it all my career. And the open door policy was, you've met the chief deputy. My door will be open. I will go out. I will meet with people. I will be out there in the daytime. I will be out there in the nighttime. I'll go out at 2 o'clock in the morning and meet with people. It don't matter to me. I will meet with anybody, anytime, anywhere. They want to sit down at Starbucks and have a cup of coffee, I'll meet them there and have a cup of coffee.
As sheriff, I know listening to your command staff is a big part of your job, but are you willing to sit down with your deputies that work the roads every day and see what they need and what you can do to help them?
Really big problem, yes. I want them talking to me, because they are a representative of me. They are, when they walk out that door, they're representing me, whether they're on duty or off duty. Grown adults, they want to drink. Call an Uber. Pick up the phone, call the sheriff's office, let a deputy or one of the lieutenants come pick you up. If it's a problem, then we're going to deal with that. on the mental health side, okay? Are we a taxi service? No. But I would do that for almost anybody. I've taken, even as a deputy, I've taken drunk drivers home because we didn't have operators to do the intoxilizer. So what I do, I tow their vehicle and took them home. Kept them from going to jail. A couple of them were juveniles. A couple of them were headed to college, great colleges. And if I'd have charged them, they'd have lost that scholarship, they'd have lost it. And I just, common sense, law enforcement is a common sense, hard job. And too many times we get caught up in the badge is the power. Well, no. This is your power. The heart is the power. And you just got to be able to talk and communicate with people. And that's where we need to get back to.
Will you institute a fair and open promotional program?
Yes. I've seen it under other administrations. They implemented the program. People apply, they take their test, they do the interviews. Then all of a sudden, top people didn't get the job. They made them redo a test, told other people to go and apply for the job or for that position, and then those people got the position. I don't believe in that. If you have a rule, if you have a standard, if you implement something, everybody stands by it, because what good is it? And I want not only police officers involved in the hiring and firing process or in the promoting process, I want civilians involved in it. That way we get an idea of, is this person going to be a good communicator? As a police officer, I know sometimes I can come across brash, not meaning to, but that's part of the job. A civilian could come in there and listen to me and think that I'm being mean, whereas the other people will be able to talk and say, he's not really being mean, he's just being more direct because that's the type of job he's in. Need somebody on both sides of the aisle to be able to explain that, because it gets really tricky, because I'm hearing it right now at the sheriff's office, where we've got people in charge that aren't qualified, and they're causing more and more problems, and you can't have that. If they couldn't pass a sergeant's exam, they shouldn't be higher up on the totem pole.
Will you keep reserve deputy program and even increase the number of reserve deputies?
Yes, ma'am. When I first went to work for the sheriff's office in 2006, we had what was called G Squad. It was a 12-member unit that come out and worked patrol. They aided. They didn't all 12 come out, but during the week, they had to come out and put 8, 12, 16, 24 hours in. That was the sheriff, whatever he wanted. They filled those positions and assisted. If the patrol was short, they picked up the phone, they called the G Squad guys. Those were the first ones. Then we had the 700 units. The 700 units were the guys that basically had FTO training, and that was it. The others, the G Squad was the ones that were fully trained police officers that had retired, had, wanted to continue in law enforcement, didn't want to do it daily. They had their other day jobs, so they would come out, continue to be a police officer. So yes, I would re-implement that and have more deputies out there, and try and put more deputies on patrol as that goes too.
Final question, then we'll finish with a final thought. With Asheville Police being so short-staffed and then bringing in retired officers to help with reports, what can the sheriff's office do to help not only keep the county safe, but the city safe as well?
The deputies need to be moving. They need to be patrolling. Same with the Asheville Police Department. I understand stopping once in a while. You got tired driving, it wears on you. Many calls are stressful. Your anxiety goes up, your adrenaline goes up. When it comes down, you get tired. I totally understand that. But they need to be out driving through these streets. They need to be going through the neighborhoods. They need to be driving by the businesses. They need to be checking doors. County officers need to be doing the same thing, not only in the county, but they need to be coming through the city. Those blue lights, especially on night shift, need to be coming on. People, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying stop everybody that's moving at 2 o'clock in the morning. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, the average good person is at home, okay? And I said the average. There is still good people out coming home, or leaving work from a bar or whatever. They're not drunk or anything. But until you stop that car, have a reason to stop that car, then, that blue light goes on. Bad guy's coming down the road and sees that. He's gonna continue on thinking that there's more. You go down the road and turn that blue light on again, he sees it a second time, oh man, there's all kinds of cops over here. I used to run south end of the county, Brevard Road to 74. And I'd stop cars on 74, 25, and 191. And then I'd start backwards, stop more cars coming backwards. And when I did that, me and my partners did that, we learned that our crime rate in our area dropped. That only tells us that if your blue lights come on, bad guy's gonna go somewhere else. And that's the way we did our job, and it works, you know. It's proactive policing, and that's what we've gotta have. We can't have reactive. We need to be seen. Police officers should be seen. They should be seen out here, coming in here, not 10 of, not 10 police officers coming in here to eat. Just come in here and say, hi, everybody, how you doing? You know, getting back down, just letting them know, hey, we're here, we're good, we're nice people, we're not bad people. You know, we just want to touch base with everybody. That's my goal, is to get every deputy, from the sheriff down to the patrolman, going out, meeting, talking, businesses, residents, you know, going into these, when I say smaller communities, I'm talking about like Ballantree area, you know, even in Oakley here's got area, but we can't get 2 miles away from our patrol cars either, because if something happens, we got to be able to get back to it, you know. We've been lucky in Buncombe County that we haven't had any school shootings or any mass shootings. Unfortunately, it's going to happen. So we've got to have those officers ready to be, but we still need to be out there policing and touching base with the average person in Buncombe County, and let them know, hey, we're not bad people. We're just police officers trying to ensure everybody's security. You know, nobody deserves to be a victim.
Right. So will you leave us with a final thought for your constituents and what you want them to know about your race?
I hope to become the sheriff of Buncombe County. I hope that, you know, don't ruffle any feathers, but at the same time, I want people to know that I am a straight person. I don't like lies. You ask, I will give an answer. I don't believe in beating around the bush. That's one thing that a lot of people are hard at, that, you know, they can't handle the truth. Well, we live in a black and white world that we have to be honest with one another. We see all the BS on the news every day, and, you know, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out, you know, what's right, what's wrong, what's causing it, what's not causing it. You know, it should just, we need to become more adherent to the way we are in the community, and be honest with one another and treat people with respect. Respect is a hard thing, but it's also, it's giving and taking, you know. It's a give and take. If you don't give respect, you're not gonna get it, so.
Right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.